link up there. Getting back to Usyk against Joshua, what's your kind of scouting report on Usyk? What sort of threat, if any, could he pose to Tyson?
The threat that Usyk can pose to Tyson is that Usyk knows how to win. And to me, that and this is me being honest, and I'm trying really almost not to answer because I don't want to make it seem like Usyk is not, a good fighter, which he is. I mean, I like watching Usyk fight. I like the things that he can do and watching him think. And but he can be a threat to anyone. He can be a threat to Tyson just as well because he knows how to pull out victories just as well as Tyson does. That makes it a interesting fight. And he's in heavyweight, so like you say, I mean, Tyson's been down before. Usyk's knocked guys out before, so this is still the heavyweight division where either man can be knocked down or knocked out. That's why it's the heavyweight division. That's the big granddaddy division of them all. That's the division that brings all the excitement. It's the heavyweight, the big boys.
As Tyson's trainer and the person who has to formulate a game plan alongside him.
Actually, I'm Tyson's former trainer because Isaac Lowe is his trainer, as he announced already, but go ahead.
As Tyson's former trainer, and if you were to come back into the corner, if Tyson comes out of retirement as well, a lot of ifs here, as you can imagine, would you perceive Usyk as a greater threat or a bigger challenge, let's say, as a trainer, than Dillian Whyte in April?
I wouldn't say that. I'm going to treat them all the same. Like I said, one punch can end it all in the heavyweight division. So the object of the fighter said to hit and not get hit, and don't get hit by no big punches.
And on that note,
but Usyk, I mean, we all know Usyk has he's got good mobility. So that's going to always pose a threat for anybody, no matter how big you are, how small you are. It's his mobility and how he's able to. Listen, this man creates so many different angles and so many different lines of attacks, and some of them are just made up just as he sees them. He just makes them and creates them. It's not something that's just planned. So, one mistake by Tyson Fury and Usyk could be there, I guess, So that's what he brings to the table, his ability to...
What's good, family? It's your man, the YB, back once again. SugarHill, my man stay waffling. Big waffle having ass. Anyway, listen, let's cut to the chase. We just heard there. SugarHill airing out Tyson Fury. He said, listen. End of the day, he said, listen. Tyson, he chinny. Yeah? Usyk, he got some skills, but listen, Tyson Fury has been down before. That was, in my opinion, that's shade. Look at how useless AJ is. AJ useless, and still, we never hear really AJ's team. It's probably a good thing to be fair, but still, we never hear AJ's team say anything negative. They stay topping. They stay giving man an A1 sloppy top. That's what they stay doing. Oh man, oh he winning, man. He winning. Oh man, look, oh he winning, man. Oh he winning. All that pure cap. So yeah, part of me thinks, boom, Tyson Fury's ex-trainer is speaking facts, but reading between the lines, especially when he threw in that Isaac Lowe thing, in my opinion, it's shade. Yeah, he said, listen, Usyk's alright. Tyson Fury has been down before. I mean, why bring that up? Why bring up Tyson Fury being down before if... Let's not forget, people, it's not as if you can say, well, YB, Usyk put down Wilder a few times and Usyk put AJ down a few times. Wait there. Usyk hasn't put... In fact, Usyk ain't put no one down. He ain't put Chisora down, who we know has been down. He ain't put AJ down, who we know has been down. He ain't put no one down who... In fact, even that Chaz Don, if I remember correctly, Chaz finished the fight on his feet. It was kind of like a doctor stoppage. It wasn't a knockdown stoppage. Oops. So again, begs the question. Usyk categorically has never put no one down. I'm trying to think, who's he put down? Okay, Tony Belland. But really, anyone from the top level, in fact, never mind top level, at heavyweight full stop, Usyk's never put no one down. So the question is, why would, bear in mind, in my opinion, Tyson Fury is leagues above, Chisora leagues above, AJ. So why would Sugar be putting that in there? That is what you call shade. He's airing them out. Yeah, he's doing indirects right now. Implying and getting the rumours started, not rumours, but getting it out there that it can happen. I don't think there's any chance. Yeah, because for Fury to go down against Usyk, we would have needed to have seen AJ go down at least once. Do you understand? But that wasn't the case, so there's literally no chance. I'd bet on that as well. I'd bet on Usyk not putting Fury down at any level. And that's me. I don't even know Tyson from Adam. So why is SugarHill essentially implying Fury's whiskers are a bit leave it? Because, I'm sorry, but to sit there and say that Fury's been down before about Usyk, fair enough, yeah. I wouldn't even mind so much if it was AJ versus Fury. But even that, to be honest with you, AJ couldn't even put Usyk down. You know what I mean? It's one of them ones. I'm sorry, it's one of them ones. These guys can't even put the B-level guys down. In my opinion, AJ is C-level heavyweight. Usyk is B-level heavyweight. Fury is A-level heavyweight. These guys, they can't even put down B's and C's. How are they going to put down the A guy? And that's me. So why isn't SugarHill thinking the same thing? Is he just shilling? Or has he really split from Tyson and he's bitter and he's trying to throw shade? You man can decide. Now, the other element he talked about in this thing was about Usyk being a winner. And that is one thing I keep hearing from Usyk fans. They keep saying Usyk doesn't know how to lose. They keep saying Usyk will find a way. That's the narrative. The main narrative, it isn't. For example, Tyson Fury fans, or Tyson Fury supporters in the Usyk fight, we can say, listen, Tyson Fury, too big, too strong, he will set about the middleweight and it will be a wrap. We can actually say that. Usyk fans, really, we've seen him struggle with Chisora. We've seen him struggle with AJ. I'm sorry, I know people might find it mad. Yes, he beat AJ. I was about to say, yes, he beat Chisora, but did he? I think the fight was a draw, or 7-5. So, but either way, yes, he beat Chisora. Yes, he beat AJ, but I'm sorry, he never looked like he was in dominant control. Okay, maybe of course, in the first fight, the last round, Usyk was in dominant control. In the second fight, the last few rounds, Usyk was in dominant control, but for the most part, for the part where both men had the same amount of energy, I'm sorry, but Usyk did not have dominant control of the Chisora fight, and he did not have dominant control of the AJ fight. He just didn't. For example, I'll tell you what I consider dominant control. Watch how Floyd Mayweather, and yeah, I can't lie to you, Floyd Mayweather fought bums, to be fair, so it's all well and good saying that. Would Floyd Mayweather have had dominant control over Errol Spence? You know what I mean? Or Terence Crawford? That's the truth. That's a fairer question. Because Usyk is fighting top guys, but still, well, I guess Chisora isn't a top guy. Chisora can't be any better than Andre Berto, who Floyd fought. So yeah, in fact, scrap that. That is a fair comparison. Look how Floyd Mayweather controlled all of them C-level guys. And even to be fair, Canelo. Yes, it was young, but still. Look how Floyd dominated and controlled Canelo Alvarez. Yeah? I tell you that to say, the way he dominated him, I've never seen Usyk dominate him. Even Tony Bellin, to be quite frank. Even in them early rounds, Usyk wasn't dominating Tony Bellin like Floyd did his opponents. Floyd would literally shut them down, and it would be, people wouldn't even be getting a look in. Tony Bellin had a few look-ins. Chisora had a few look-ins. And that's my point here. People keep ranting and raving about Usyk's, he's a phenomenal outboxer. Yes, he can win fights, but I get the feeling he's always nicking fights. He's not completely just boxing people's ears off. Floyd would literally shut them down and make them look completely silly. Why be you're biased? Maybe so. I'm just telling you. I don't get that same feeling of magic, if you get what I'm saying. Regardless of who Usyk fights, maybe in his other fights at cruiserweight, I haven't really studied him so much, but maybe in his early fights at cruiserweight, he's shown some magic. I'm just saying, for sure at heavyweight, I'm not being funny here, but let me give you a better comparison at heavyweight. For example, yeah, look at how Tyson Fury boxed Chisora, and that's a fair comparison. Fury's fought Chisora, Usyk's fought Chisora. Look at how, and by the way, Fury fought a much better Chisora. Look at how Fury controlled Chisora in that second fight. Yeah? Do you get what I mean now? That's what, for me, Fury vs Chisora 2, that's what I call a Floyd Mayweather performance. Chisora didn't get a look in. I don't care what no one says, you can't tell me Usyk beat Chisora in a similar fashion. Absolutely not. That Chisora vs Usyk fight was 50-50. Or at best, 60-40 towards Usyk. Now, Fury versus Chisora too, that was 100 Fury. It was only Fury all night. Do you get what I'm saying now? So this whole narrative, Usyk the magic, I just don't get it. I'm sorry, the evidence isn't there at heavyweight that this guy is really that magical. And that's unfortunate, but it's the truth. A lot of people are hyping. I mean, even Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's praying. Eddie Hearn would love. Of course, it's a great narrative for him, wouldn't it? If Usyk can beat Fury, then the AJ and Fury fight's back on almost. They both become equals again, but come on now. Let's get serious now. There's no way. Honestly, I'm telling you now, I'm going to bet my life. All the coins I've got are going on Fury to beat Usyk. I even think a stoppage is possible. It depends though. If Fury comes out like he did against Dillian White, then there ain't going to be no stoppage. He will win on points. But in comparison, when you look at how Fury's set about other people, like Wilder in the second fight, or Wilder in the third fight, or look how he set about Cunningham after he got warmed up kind of thing, after he got woken up by that big right hand. The point is, if Fury goes in there psychologically wanting to get the stoppage and work him, he will get it. Yes, YB, but he stopped Dillian White too. I'm sorry, yeah. I don't believe Fury. And listen, if he does it, I'm going to give him crazy credit, but I don't believe Fury's going to be able to catch Usyk with one big banger. Fury will have to. If Fury wants to, do I believe Fury can stop Usyk? Absolutely. It's a case of if he wants to. I had a weird feeling in the Dillian White fight. Fury didn't really set her out with the intention of stopping him. Yes, he got the stoppage, but really, what's the first 6 rounds? That wasn't a fight that looked like it was going towards a stoppage, if you get what I mean. So I don't know what mindset Fury's in. If Fury does, out the gates, come out, and he's applying pressure, and he's putting combinations together, and he's working, like he did in the Wilder 2 fight, he will stop Usyk. If he comes out, and he's very tentative, like he did versus Dillian White, there won't be a stoppage. So it really does depend on, I think a key factor will be, is SugarHill in the camp? We know SugarHill likes KOs. Now, SugarHill was in the camp for the Dillian White fight, so I'm not sure I don't know what that was about, to be quite frank. I don't know what Tyson Fury was waiting for. Yes, he found the perfect shot, but that really saved the fight. The way it was going, it's really ugly. It was just, there wasn't a lot of anything going on. Dillian White was useless, and Fury was just sitting back. Is it the case of that? Apparently, Fury said after the fight that he saw Dillian. Basically, he was saying that he was trying to find that shot the whole night. I think Fury, was Fury going to the body or something? Or Fury throwing a straight shot? I'm not sure, but after the fight, he said that he was basically setting Dillian up the whole night, and that might be the case. Because to catch, I think Fury hadn't actually thrown the uppercut the whole night, and then he threw it. So it was one of them ones. I'm not sure what it was. I think it might have been Fury was throwing straight, and then Dillian went to block the straight, and he whipped it up at the middle. I'm not sure what it was, but it was something like that. Fury kept doing something for the first 7 rounds, and then he changed it up, and then that was all she wrote. I don't think Usyk isn't as predictable, isn't as clumsy, isn't as plodding as Dillian, though. He ain't going to get that one. And Fury will know that. Fury is not low IQ like AJ. He should know that. And not being funny, but Fury's given us some hints already. He knows what needs to be done. It's not rocket science. We all know. Anyone who knows boxing knows what needs to be done. And I think Fury stoppage can go great down, or will be a great add to his legacy. Because these B and C level dudes, they can't stop each other. But yet, Fury stopping them all. Oops. But yeah, anyway, listen. What should Fury do? Should Fury retain SugarHill? Absolutely. I'll be a bit worried, and I'll be less inclined to gamble if Fury brings in Isaac, that muppet. I really will. For that fight. Even though Fury will still win, I'll still back Fury to be a heavy favourite. But for me, Fury with SugarHill in the corner, I'm 99.99% sure Fury gets it done against Usyk. With Isaac, it comes like 80-90%. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't like the idea of that. I just don't. If anything, Fury should have. If Fury wanted to be weirdo, he should have brought in Isaac for the Dillian White fight, not this big one. Anyway, man, big one thing. It's going to be intriguing to see how it all plays out. Your man's SugarHill, he throwing shade right now. He implying Tyson Fury CHINNY. He implied Mr. No Power Usyk, Mr. No Power Middleweight, can actually be a threat to Fury. Let me know your thoughts, big man ting. Smash the like button, subscribe, and your boy will be back, no doubt.